Juan Manuel Fangio. On a race-by-race average, he is statistically the greatest World Championship driver of all time. From his 52 championship races, he won 24 times, a strike rate of 47%, finished on the podium 35 times, strike rate of 69%, only one of which was a third place. Only on 4 occasions did he fail to start either second or first, and back in the days of 8 points for a win, he averaged 5.44 points per race. This is because he scored 277 career points, 277 and 9/14ths. How on earth would one score 9/14ths of a point? I don't even know how to score 1/14th, let alone 9 of them. So what happened? The 1954 British Grand Prix. That's what happened. It's Sunday the 17th of July 1954, and the 7th RAC British Grand Prix gets underway. Par for the course, Fangio breaks the Silverstone lap record and becomes the first person to lap the circuit at over 100 miles an hour average speed on his way to pole position in his Mercedes, a whole second faster than Argentine compatriot José Froilán González. If you fancy a laugh at how mad F1 was back in the 50s, the slowest man to set a time was another from Argentina, Onofre Marimón, 17.6 seconds off pole. Despite all the praise to Fangio in this video, sadly this wasn't his greatest day. He was beaten off the line by both González and Hawthorn, who were definitely creeping before the flag fell. He was ahead of Hawthorn and into second by lap 5, but supposedly he was experiencing handling difficulties. Not picked up by the Pathé news footage that YouTube is hopefully letting you watch, it was reported that Fangio made contact with a few of the circuit perimeter oil drums. You can clearly see some damage to the front right of his W196. By lap 55 he was passed and back down to third, passed again on lap 58 putting him fourth, and again on lap 78. Thankfully for the eventual 5-time world champion, he got one of those places back when Stirling Moss retired from the race. Our podium that day was Silverstone specialist González winning his second and final World Championship race, 8 points. Home hero Mike Hawthorn over a minute behind, 6 points. And incredibly, Onofre Marimón, the slowest qualifier, 4 points. Started 28th and was up to 6th by the end of the first tour, 22 places in one lap. Can't be bothered to verify this, but I'm pretty sure that's the most positions gained in a single lap. Our other points finishers were Fangio in one of just 6 occasions where he finished a championship race off the podium, 3 points, and Maurice Trontignan in a Works Ferrari 3 laps down on his teammate, 2 points. There was no point for 6th place back in the 50s. 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, and like today, there was a point up for grabs for fastest lap. And this is where things get interesting. Well, it's not that interesting, but you're here already and gotten this far through, so there we go. If we look at quali times, we can see that lap times go down to 1 decimal place. No fancy telemetry in those days, just a crapload of stopwatches and scribbling down of numbers. A decimal was really as far down as they could go, and even then you'd imagine there was some error, but necessary in sessions where individual lap times were vital. If we look at the race time by González, 2 hours, 56 minutes and 14 seconds. That's not 14 seconds flat, that's just how far down race times were recorded to, the nearest whole second. For whatever reason, this was a specific quirk for the German and British Grand Prix. The German Grand Prix makes sense, because it was at the Nordschleife and we're looking at 9-minute plus lap times in the 1950s, but Silverstone? That's just asking for trouble, and trouble came. We don't have the details of which lap it was set, but González set the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute and 50 seconds. As did Mike Hawthorn, and Marimón, and Moss, and Berra, and Ascari, and Fangio. 7 drivers, all credited with setting fastest lap. So they all get a point, right? Well, no. Sharing is caring after all, so instead of 7 drivers getting 1 point, 7 drivers shared 1 point. So for his 4th place, Fangio scored 3 points and 1/7. Well, that explains 2 of the 9/14ths he scored. Where are the other 7? Again, it comes down to point sharing. It was a fairly common practice back in the day, where if a team leader was having issues with their car, a teammate would be ordered into the pits and forced to relinquish their seat. Fangio took over from teammates a handful of times in his World Championship career, and even won on 2 of these occasions, the 1951 French Grand Prix and the 1956 Argentine Grand Prix. But we don't care about that. You used to get 8 points for a win, so if you share a win, each driver gets 4 points. No, what we care about is the 1953 Swiss Grand Prix. After suffering engine problems with his number 30 Maserati, Fangio took over the number 32 of Felice Bonetto and brought it home in 4th. This means that he and the Italian both picked up 1.5 points. Another way of expressing 1/2 is 7/14. So add that to the 1/7 he got for sharing the fastest lap, and that gives us the strange 9/14 fraction in Fangio's career points total, and the strange points tally for the other 6 drivers who set fastest lap that day.